Rosedale Golf and Country Club is a great community located here in Bradenton, Florida. There's about 1,100 homes in Rosedale, and I think it's fabulous because of the location, of course, the homes and the amenities and what the community offers to you. Now, for those of you who hear Golf and Country Club, and that might be a turnoff for you right away, I ask you to not tune out, but stay tuned because Rosedale is not a one-size-fits-all type of community, and that's what I think is kind of fabulous about it. So stay tuned to listen about Rosedale. Hi, I'm Jill Thomas, and each week I bring new videos about communities like Rosedale in the Sarasota Bradenton area here in my market on the west coast of Florida. And then of course, I also talk about what it's like to live here in the Sunshine State and what the Sarasota area offers you. So if you've been thinking about making a move to this area, or maybe you're already here, you need to buy something else, you've got a property to sell, then this could be a good channel for you. So hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, all those good things, and then keep watching. But really, most importantly, when you've got questions, when you need to dig in a little deeper, when you're ready to make a move, then please give me a call, text, or email me. I'm here to help. Rosedale Golf and Country Club has been around since the mid-1990s, but they just finished construction last year. Now, it's not that it took them that long to build out, but they just added a new phase a while back, and they completed that last year. So we've got a little bit of everything in terms of the types of housing that you might want. So I like that. Like I said before, Rosedale is not a one-size-fits-all community. So in this video, hopefully I'll give you a nice little taste of what Rosedale is about. And then, as always, I do like to give you what I find to be potentially negatives or downsides to a community. But just like, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Just because I say it's a negative, it may not be a negative, or things that I think are a positive could be a negative to you. So it's up to you to decide if it's a good fit. But at a minimum, I would like just to give you all these things to think about. Number one, location. I think Rosedale Golf and Country Club really is in an ideal location. First of all, it is right off of State Road 70 on the north side of that and just east of I-75. It's located here in Bradenton. Now, Bradenton is just north of Sarasota. So we've got Sarasota County. At the north end of Sarasota County is Sarasota. And then as soon as you cross over University Parkway, where UTC is University Town Center, over to the east and way to the west is USF and the airport. As soon as you cross over University, now you're in Manatee County, which includes Bradenton. So if you're going up I-75 from Sarasota, you've got your University exit and then State Road 70, which is where Rosedale is, and State Road 64. And a lot of that land over there to the east is Lakewood Ranch. Now, Rosedale Golf and Country Club is not directly in Lakewood Ranch, but it's just outside of that. So as I said, Rosedale is just east of I-75, which is nice because then you can hop on right there at that exit if you need to travel north or south. I'm also finding a lot of people who are moving down here, and maybe where they work, the headquarters is in the Tampa area or St. Pete, and they don't want to live all the way up there. And often now people can work remotely or work remotely part-time. So instead of living right in Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, they're moving down to Manatee County, Bradenton, Parrish, Palmetto, and then just commuting up there when they have to. So this might be a really good location for anybody who is needing that type of work-home situation. I think it's pretty ideal. And then, like I said, it's right outside of Lakewood Ranch. So there's a lot of events and activities that are open to the public where you don't have to be a resident of Lakewood Ranch to participate in. So you're super close to that. You're close to the Outlet Mall in Ellenton. And like I said, because you're 75 right there, you can go north or south to get where you need to go. And then also nearby at the University exit, as I mentioned, is UTC, University Town Center. So there's a great high-end mall there, restaurants, you've got your Target, everything is right there. And then also there is a Costco up off of State Road 64, because I get questions like that. People often want to know, where's Target, where's Costco? So one exit south is Target, one exit north is your Costco. So like I said, I think that Rosedale is in a really great location. Number two, the neighborhoods. Okay, so now let's get into Rosedale and take a look around. The main guard gate, the main entrance is right off of State Road 70. So when you go there, there's not only electric gate, but there is a guard there. And of all the communities that even do have guards, I would say this is probably one of the tougher ones to get into. So if you just want to go in there to drive around, they're not gonna let you just do that. So thankfully I was able to get in because I actually had some showings. So I thought, while I'm in here, I'm gonna take a bunch of video. So here we are. What's nice though is because this community is so big with having over 1,000 homes, there is another owner's entrance at the other end, which is great because otherwise if you had to go through the main guard gate every time you wanted to get to the other end, it would take you forever. And I find that to be super annoying. So they do have the owner's entrance on another side, and it's associated with the newer area called the Links. That's the newer section of Rosedale. Now I think anybody who lives in Rosedale can use that owner's entrance, but that's what it is attached to, is the newer section. So that's how we get into Rosedale. Now in this community, there is something called a master association. What this means is there's a set of rules and regulations that's going to apply to every homeowner. There's no flexibility around that. And so part of your association dues is going to go towards the master association for maintaining everything that everybody uses in common, the maintaining the common areas, the grounds, taking care of the guard and that gate, because that can be very costly because you're paying somebody to work there all the time. So you're going to have some basic dues that are going to go towards the master association. And like I said, with the master association, there's rules that are going to apply to everybody. Now let me give you an example of a few of those. For instance, with pets, you can have no more than 3 pets. With your garage door, they prefer that you keep your garage door down all the time unless you have it open because maybe you're doing yard work or something like that. You're coming and going, but they just don't want you to leave it up all day long. They like that tidy look of keeping that garage door down. In terms of rentals, the rentals are a minimum of 60 days at a time. So if you're going to lease it out, 60 days or basically 2 months at a time or more are what you're allowed to do for rentals. You cannot park vehicles on the street from midnight to 6 a.m. And I did see a stipulation, like, if you're having a party and friends over, that's one thing, but not on a regular basis. So if you've got a good number of people living in the house who all have vehicles, then you're gonna have to juggle those around. You can't leave them on the street overnight. You can't park or store boats, trailers, bigger trucks, commercial vehicles, campers, motorhomes, anything like that on your property unless you're just cleaning it out, loading or unloading your camper. You can do it for short term, but you cannot permanently store a vehicle like that on your property. So that's a taste of the master association. Those again are rules that apply to everybody. But then within Rosedale, it's broken down into 21 different neighborhoods. If you recall, I mentioned the newer section, that's referred to as the Links. But then there's other sections or mini neighborhoods within the bigger community of Rosedale. And all of those neighborhoods can be run a little differently. Now, some of them might be run the same. There might be some overlap with their rules or what they offer. And then some might be completely different than the rest. And so if you're interested in a property in Rosedale, you need to know which neighborhood it is in so you can know what rules or what features apply to you and that property. For instance, some of the homes the association, that their separate little new homeowners association just for that neighborhood might do the landscaping, might take care of all of the lawn maintenance. Some may require that you join at least the social membership of Rosedale. I've never seen it where, well, maybe it could be where you're required to join like a golf membership, something higher. But here, I believe all the neighborhoods that do require some type of membership, it's just the social membership. So at least the costs don't get too crazy there. And then there might be an architectural review committee, or you might see it as a capital R, capital C, architectural review committee. So if you want to do something to the exterior of your home, you've got to run it through ARC to get it approved. And then some of these neighborhoods, like the exterior of all the homes look the same. Maybe they're all brown or they're all gray. They're all identical. And then there's some neighborhoods within Rosedale where you've got latitude and you can paint your home different colors and they all don't look the same. So some of these neighborhoods, there is a separate smaller homeowners association just for that neighborhood in addition to the master. And then some of them don't have an extra HOA at all. So those that do have that additional HOA, the fees are going to be higher because of course, if they're going to mow your yard, you've got to, somebody's going to pay for it and that's going to be you. So if you like that where things are taken care of for you more, then we'll look at homes that provide that. If you want, say, hey, listen, I'd rather just hire my own lawn guy or do it myself. I want a little bit more latitude in how I can paint the outside of my home and things like that, then we'll look at the neighborhoods that don't have that additional smaller HOA. So the fees will all be different, and what each neighborhood offers or requires from the homeowner is going to be different. So that's why I say Rosedale is not a one-size-fits-all type of neighborhood. So if you like the feel of the community, then let's narrow it down and find the right neighborhood that's a better fit for you. Number 3, the country club and fees. So like I said before, I totally get it that not all of you would want to be part of the country club, and there's some people that just love that idea, and that's the type of lifestyle that you're looking for. So as I'd mentioned, depending on which neighborhood you're in, you may not even be required to join the country club, but you can still take advantage of having that lovely grand feel of living in a country club community. Now with the HOA dues, again, it depends on which neighborhood you're in because each neighborhood has different features. So at the low end, you're going to pay about $150 a month. And that, like I said before, was going to cover the guard, the common areas, just keeping things tidy, the roads, all of that. And so I think that's pretty reasonable for what you're getting. Now at the higher end, it's going to be, $500 or so a month. And then that will include the master association, the association for your separate little neighborhood, and then at a minimum, your social membership to Rosedale if that's what's required. So to give you a little taste of what the dues are, again, somewhere between maybe $150, $500, and $550 a month. And then what's also really nice about Rosedale is that there are no CDD fees. So there's nothing else hidden in terms of expenses, at least that I found, but no CDD fees, which is awesome. Number 4, now let's talk about the homes there in Rosedale. So like I said, there's over 1,000 homes there in the community that are from maybe around the mid-1990s all the way to 2021. And they come in all different sizes. There's some really small ones and there's really quite large grand homes. The prices run somewhere around $450,000 all the way up to around $1.5 million. So there's a large spread. And because the way the neighborhoods are designed, don't fear, there's not going to be $1.5 million house next to a $450,000 house where it doesn't really flow as you're driving down the street. Similar homes, similar style of homes, priced homes are all going to be grouped together, but yet within all of Rosedale, there is a lot of variety. Now, in terms of lot sizes, there could be really small lots, especially with the newer homes in the Links neighborhood, but then other homes have really nice size lots. There was a house that I listed and sold earlier this year, but I sold it to these folks maybe 4 or 5 years ago. This was an older house built in the 90s, completely redone. It was fabulous. The lot was awesome. It's on a cul-de-sac, pie-shaped lot. So as you look out the back, there was a little lake to the left, the golf course, and then beyond that was preserve. So even though the lot itself wasn't ginormous, it was still a healthy sized lot, the view was so deep and fabulous. So that's kind of what you're going to get more with some of the older properties, is a larger, grander view. Something else I want to mention about Rosedale is people like their golf carts. Now you think, well, Jill, it's a golf cart community, so like whoop-de-doo, right? Well, believe it or not, there's a lot of communities here in our area that are not golf cart communities or golf course communities, and people still have golf carts. People drive golf carts around in my neighborhood, in my parents' neighborhood. We have nothing to do with golf where we live. So it's not uncommon to see people tootling around in golf carts, but in Rosedale, it's an even bigger deal. And in fact, there are some garages that are fit not only for your 2 cars, but also there is another door on the side for a golf cart. So that's great. So if you are a golf cart person, maybe we can find you a property in there where you can accommodate storing your golf cart and then still be able to get your vehicles into the garage. So that's kind of fun to see people get around. And sometimes that's just people's mode of transportation within the community. So if you're going to go swimming, you want to go to the clubhouse, you want to go to the fitness center, go and grab a little bite to eat up at the restaurant, then you can just take your golf cart. Just make sure you don't do it during the peak rainy season in the afternoon where you're going to get soaking wet. I've had that happen when I'm looking at new construction. We're out on golf carts and we get wet pretty often, but that's just the name of the game with living here in the Sunshine State. Something else I like about Rosedale, especially with the older sections, is that there is a lot of lovely mature vegetation, trees, plants. It's really beautiful. So I enjoy seeing that. And that's more in the older section, not in the newer section. Number 5, the cons. Okay, so I'm gonna run through some of the things that I kind of find to be negatives, or that most people who I talk to would see as a negative potentially, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be a negative to you. I could have two couples together out looking at things, and one person says, oh, this is horrible, and the other person goes, well, I find that to be a benefit. So to each his own. I'm not trying to talk you out of anything. I'm just trying to give you extra information so you can decide for yourself. First of all, Rosedale is not near the beaches. Often people will say, I want this, 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 and this, and I want to be really close to the beaches. And often all those things really don't come together. Maybe we don't have that product, and that's Rosedale. We're not super close to the beaches when you live there. According to Google Maps, it's about 35 minutes to both Lido Beach and Bradenton Beach. Those are the two closest beaches. And when I looked it up, it was, you know, here it is, August of 2022. We're not in peak season, so I have no doubt that during our busy season, it's going to take you longer than 35 minutes to get to the beach. Second con, it is off of State Road 70, as I've already mentioned a couple of times, and I think that's great because it gives you quick access to everything. But some people don't like being off of such a busy road. Now there is a big light there. There's a major light there, and you get green arrows and things like that. So you're not risking your life every time you need to come and go out of your neighborhood. But for some people, they just don't like that. Another potential downside is road noise. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've never really heard tremendous road noise from any of the homes in Rosedale, but some people are very sensitive to that. So being close to State Road 70 and closer to I-75, maybe I just haven't been on the right lot or the right property where you could capture some of that noise. So if you're in Rosedale, you're looking at properties, then just pay attention to the road noise in the distance. Again, some people that doesn't bother them at all, and other people, it's a huge deterrent. All right, another con could be the rules. Now, some people embrace rules. They like it because then they know that the community is going to have a certain set of standards. But for some people, that's a huge turnoff. So if you want to dive more into the rules, Rosedale has a great website with so much detail where you don't have to have a password and log in to look at that. It talks about the different neighborhoods, the different rules. It covers everything. So here's the website, www.rosedalemasterhoa.com, and I'll also throw a link to that down below for you. And then the final negative I want to mention, which I can mention in every single video except for new construction, is be aware of the age of the roofs. Because with those older homes from the 90s, from the early 2000s now, and not even super early, it could be 2005, 6, 7, the roof has got to be in decent shape in order to get homeowners insurance. Huge deal right now in Florida with that. And the condition of a home, especially the roof, in order to qualify for homeowners insurance, especially insurance that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. So that's a really big deal right now. So check the age of those roofs when you're looking at those homes. Now the final con, and this is 100% Jill preference. All right. When I'm in Rosedale, I personally prefer the older homes over the newer homes. Now the newer homes are beautiful because a lot of them already have quartz countertops, where the older homes might not, might have the darker granite that's not as popular anymore, things like that. And I get it. There's something about having a brand new home. But with those older homes, like I mentioned before with that one listing I had, often, not always, not with all of the homes there, but often the lots are a little bit better. They're a little wider, maybe a little deeper. The views are going to be better there. And with all those mature trees, I find that very appealing. But I can show homes to people, the new ones, where it lacks those things that I really enjoy, and people just love the new home idea. And so that's okay. They'll take the new home. So this is just a Jill preference. You know, you can take it or leave it. You know, again, it's up to you. You know, I'm not here to change what you would like or what you don't like. All right, there we go. A little taste of Rosedale Golf and Country Club. I hope you learned something about it. And I'm sure a lot of you would be surprised to know that some sections you're required to be a member of the golf club and others are not required. So I think that's a good thing. Again, Rosedale's not a one-size-fits-all type of community. Now, if you're already familiar with Rosedale, is there something I failed to mention? That's okay. Throw it in the comments below so people can learn from that, or maybe you're just your thoughts. Some people hate HOAs, they hate gated communities. They can't stand it. And so I'm sure I'll get somebody mentioning that down below. That's okay. Again, to each his own. This is why I'm giving you a taste of all these different types of neighborhoods so you can figure it out for yourself. Now, again, as always, if there's other questions you have, if you need more information, then please reach out to me, give me a call, text, email me, fill out the little form, in one of the links below from one of my websites, something like that, just so we can connect and hopefully I can be a help to you. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching to the end. Have a great day.